All right. Gang's all here. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected and all the viewers are smarter than the average bear. What is happening, y'all? Good to see you. Yeah, who was it? Was it Timothy Martin? Someone hit me in the comment section, like right when I ended the stream yesterday, saying that Julian Assange was free, and lo and behold, he is. But there's some conditions, I guess. We're going to talk about it. Anyway, is this true? It's true. Which is great. It's good to see him finally released. He's been, how long has he been incarcerated? Not just at Belmarsh, but at the Ecuadorian embassy. He was there for a long time. So I feel like it's been like 10, 12 years or something. That's a long time to spend on the lam or in custody. And he's out. He is out, which a lot of people thought they might never see the day. There was actually some, what's up, people on Rockfin, old as dirt, Osama. There was actually some people that thought he might not even be still, he might not be alive. That's what I'm trying to say. He might not be existing in life. But I mean, looks like him. Looks like he's a little chunkier, or not chunkier, puffier. He looks puffy. He looks like Stay Puff Assange. Where's the video? Let's find the video. I know you guys have probably all watched a lot of Assange news coverage today. I feel like it's the end of the day and everybody's really talked about it a lot. But it is what it is. If you're on, hello Twitter people, what's going on? The people of Twitter. But maybe you guys have seen images, maybe not. Who knows? Maybe y'all have been at work. I don't know. But we got to talk about it because it's important, right? This is big news as far as freedom of the press. They're doing it because Biden hates Trump. What? Okay. I mean, sure. Exactly. These are the first images of Julian Assange after leaving Belmarsh prison on June 24th, 2024. I mean, he is older, so there's that. It's kind of what happens when you get older. Many do get puffy and chunky. It's just real, man. I don't know what else to say. Anyways. Timothy Martin says, when they have you in jail, you are screwed. Think McAfee. Yeah. And I think he wanted to get out of there. He had to plead. It was a plea deal. And eventually he's going to be going back to Australia. Let me see. But I guess he took a plane to the Marianas Islands. Let's see. Where there is a functional U.S. court. Yeah, Deebs, angry for what he was put through. Absolutely. I mean, he was persecuted. For sure. He was targeted. He was persecuted. He was, hunted down, basically. Trapped in the Ecuadorian embassy for years upon years. Assange too. Let's see. Let me read the one I got. Oh. Sorry, I don't know why I opened this here. Not really sure. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange released from prison after U.S. plea deal. Assange to plead guilty to one charge of espionage and return home to Australia after years of fighting U.S. extradition. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has been freed from prison. I will not read the same thing all 3 times. Assange, 52, will plead guilty to one count of conspiracy to obtain and disclose classified U.S. national defense documents, according to a filing in the U.S. District Court for the Northern Mariana Islands. Some people think that this is a win with an asterisk, right? Max says, I think they want to restrict him to living in Australia as part of the agreement. Well, I don't know if there were any other. I didn't hear myself of any other stipulations, but maybe so. Yeah, I mean, the consensus, I think, is that this is not necessarily a win for press freedom or free speech, because he is basically pleading guilty to a crime, but is, obviously time served. I guess that's one of the conditions. Well, time served, so he'll enter the plea and then be released. He's still, I think tomorrow is the actual hearing. He was freed from UK's high security Belmarsh prison on Monday and taken to the airport where he flew out of the country. He will appear at a court in Saipan, a U.S. Pacific territory, 9 a.m. on Wednesday, which is, let me see. It's actually rather soon, tonight, in Western time, where he will be sentenced to 62 months of time already served. Julian Assange is free, WikiLeaks said in a statement on X. He will return to Australia after the hearing. Anyways, it's great to see him out of jail and not, peeking from a a window slit, or peeking out of a window. But big, I mean, that's huge news, right? Let's see. Let's see if there's any, if I can get some other info down here. Former President Donald Trump decided to charge him in 2019 with 17 counts of breaching the Espionage Act. And Trump actually feigned like he was going to let him go. Kim says he shouldn't have to pay for the trip back to Australia. You know that plane trip cost him $500,000. And maybe that's what you're referring to. I don't know why it cost that much. $500,000. Was it a private jet? I don't know. Maybe so. $500,000 plane ride? Seems a little bit like extortion to me. I mean, it sounds kind of exorbitant, don't you think? Or maybe it's one of the old money laundering maneuvers, right? Sure. Because you know that trip only costs what? 20 grand in gas? $500,000. Trump is a douche. Tradouche. Skadoosh. I don't know why that made me chuckle so. U.S. lawyers argued he conspired with Chelsea Manning. Or otherwise, well, let me rephrase that. U.S. lawyers concocted the story that he conspired with Chelsea Manning to try and see if it would stick. A former Army intelligence analyst who spent 7 years in prison for leaking material to WikiLeaks. She was freed when President Barack Obama commuted her sentence in 2017. Okay. Let's see. He was first arrested in London, 2010. So yeah, I want to find out how. So he was basically, he was arrested in 2010. You know, the sexual assault charges. Allowed bail pending the extradition case. Assange took refuge in Ecuador's embassy in London in 2012. So yeah, 12 years, all told. He was in hiding or confinement. And there was long leaked or whispered talks between the Australian government and the U.S. government trying to get him out. Gene says, message to all journalists: do not report on U.S. war crimes or else. Yeah, I guess. They go the extra mile to try to get you to not. They don't want you to see any body bags. They don't want you to see any casualties. On some levels, it's why what's happening in Gaza is sparking so much outrage, is that they can't really contain. Well, they tried. You know, they locked up a whole Al Jazeera team that was in Gaza. They're trying to control the images coming out of Gaza, but they're coming from everywhere. They can't stop people from posting things from their phone, and even the IDF and members of the Israeli military, have a penchant for posting things. And so you can't really keep the images away from people, and those images will spark outrage. And that's why they try to contain as much as they can in any war. Now nowadays in war situations. So if there's, one of the biggest failures on Israel's part, if they're, is that they cannot contain the reality of what's going on from getting out. And hopefully that will lead to something changing there. I don't know. Gene says, Kevin, they are doing this to cause fear and suppression and try to silence people. Yeah. Well, and they're doing it. They're silencing people all over the place in so many ways, right? They're doing it. They do it on. They're trying to keep people from even talking about relevant truths. Right, right now, right on the platforms that we're broadcasting on. I'm incredibly shadow banned. I think I suspect, and maybe this is paranoid of me, and that's fine. I suspect it's because I pulled the covers of the guy. Remember the Slava Ukraine guys that used to show up in my chats and try to talk shit to me. I suspect it's because I called them out and I told them what a bunch of stupid assholes they were, and I feel like they really were offended by that. They took it personally, so they gave me highest levels shadow ban, shadow ban the fuck out of this guy, fuck this guy, don't let anybody hear this guy because fuck this guy. I feel like that was the reaction, and that's fine, because fuck those guys, and may they, meet their maker sooner than later, because seriously, fuck those guys. If that's the work you're doing, then you deserve everything that you get, because you're just an evil psychopath working for evil psychopaths. And if you're just trying to make a buck doing that, well, then you still deserve everything you get. Too bad. You fucked your soul. You're screwed. And and you're pretty much, what do you have to live for? You ruined your life. For what? For a dollar, for a paycheck, and for membership to a club that nobody is going to want to be in much longer, right? So, yeah, but whatever. I called all those fools out, and I feel like they got super, when you call out a psychopath, they get really mad. They get extra pissed, because you're I see what you're doing, and you're not going to do it. No, what? Anyways, it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna fight it. Anyways, we're gonna yes, it is. Passive aggressive is what it is. Don't ever tell a psychopath or a narcissist that they're a psychopath or narcissist, because they'll just lose their shit. But they already know it, and that's the thing. They're already filled with shame. They're just brimming with shame, and it's overflowing, and they know they know exactly what they're doing is wrong on every level, and so they have to get extra feisty, because they're trying to cover up their shame. Anyways, Max Sarge says, I'm mostly aggressive myself. Mostly aggressive. You know what? I'm like a bear. Your dad said thank you? Hell yeah. Right on. I'm like a bear. Mostly I'm chill. I'm cool, and I will not I will mostly just hang out and be like, hey, what's up? I'm chilling over here. How you doing? You chilling? Cool. But if you mess with me, don't poke the bear. Do not poke the bear. The bear has claws, and you don't want to mess around with the claws. All right. You found a workaround, but it was shocking. A sweetly voiced bear. Why, thank you, Philip. Thank you. The growling bear scares you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was trying to make it sound, ferocious, but maybe I went too far on the ferocious. My apologies. Well, this is, pretty great news. We've seen these images of these images of. Anyways, yeah, he's been through hell and back, Julian Assange. And 12 years is a long time. And so he's free, and hopefully, on some levels, I think some people also see this as a win. As a win because they were really trying to put him away. They were really trying to, put the screws to him. They were really trying to, maybe he would not make it out of jail. Maybe he wouldn't make it out of jail alive. They were really trying to, just really, and him actually, yes, he pleaded guilty. He had to plead out. Not great, not the greatest, but seeing him free, I feel like is a win on some, as a it's good for morale for the troops. You know what I'm saying? The troops being the common guy, the little guy, the people. Right? So he's out, he's free, and in some ways it was a capitulation by the powers that be, somewhat. All right. What's up, Twitter people? You doing the things on Twitter? Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out on Twitter. Send me a message in the chats and let me know. Let me know if it's working. North South says, I always thought he was controlled op. Huh. Really? I don't know. They had a lot of people believing that he, was somehow he was behind Trump getting elected, working with the Russians, right? They kind of smeared him as a in collusion with Trump. He was not. Trump charged him with 19 or 17 counts of espionage act, right? 19 counts, whatever it was. He was not. But a lot of people believed that story. Who said 9/11 was real? Assange? Real as in the terrorist from Al-Qaeda did it? Is that what you mean? That is weird. It is a weird one. No, I don't think Assange was not in collusion with Trump. He did release the DNC emails, or what the Clinton emails, or the whatever you want to call them. But those were most likely from Seth Rich, and so that's just uncovering the corruption. That's not, it just happened to point towards Hillary Clinton and the DNC. That's not. It just happened to did benefit Trump, but I don't think it was not a collusion moment. Assange says real planes hit the tower. Some think it's all an illusion. Yeah, well, yes. Physics. Bella, we could run that one down. We won't do it today, but physics are important in that one. And just the, didn't I just show? I showed an airplane that was hit by a hailstorm, and you're trying to tell me that an airplane went through a steel and concrete tower? No, it didn't. So it did not. Physics. If a hailstorm or a bird strike can take the nose off of a plane, imagine what a steel and concrete building might do to it. So a plane did not get in there like that. It just didn't. Anyways, I mean, that's one point. There are several, and we won't do any more. All right. Alrighty. Now that we've gone full truther, old school truther today on the show, right from the beginning. It's all good. All right. There's also the fact that a plane cannot fly as fast as they said a plane was flying into the building, so without breaking apart. There's that. Physics, my friends, physics. So there's 2 points we could go on. No, Gene, it cannot. It depends on the building. If the building was made of, I mean, yeah, it can't. It cannot. It could bounce off the building though, and that's probably if it was a real plane, that's probably what would have happened. There might have been a dent, but it wouldn't have been like all the way through. No way. No, not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. All right. But if you, I'm, don't believe me. Like, go listen to Richard Gage. Go listen to Kevin Barrett. Who else? I mean, I don't know. There's so many. Bella, do you have any other names? I mean, it might have like maybe a little nose stuck in, or a little bit like dent, and then there would be a bunch of tail, and then it would have been flopping on the ground, but not through. Not through. Steel versus aluminum going south. Steel versus aluminum, density, mass, etc. Or the other way to look at it, Gene, is if the plane were stationary and the building were moving at a certain speed. Okay. That's cool. I love you too, Gene. It's all good. I'm just saying, if you want other takes other than me, I was just suggesting. I mean, some other voices to listen to other than me. I mean, if you don't, it's cool. Like, don't believe me. It's fine. But there are other people, I don't know. Names, Bella, of people that would quickly explain the phenomenon, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Another way to look at it, Gene. This I'm just trying to be helpful, but another way to look at it is: have you ever seen a plane crash into the ocean? It doesn't. A plane can't even slice through the water in the ocean. Like it breaks apart on impact. It just smashes into pieces. And the ocean is wet and water. It's another way to think about it. I don't know. There's lots of ways to think about it. There you go, Deebs. Architects for Truth. There's Ace Baker. Ace Baker. Yeah. Yes, Ace Baker. I was saying that just as I was looking at your. Yep. Ace Baker is a good one. Just how do we get into this conversation? Okay, let's look at this. Mogadishu, Somalia, after heavy rainfall has killed at least 2 people. So Mogadishu, Somalia, getting the bingo card tonight. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna flip away. We're gonna flip away from the subject, Gene. It's okay. We don't want to hurt. We don't want to hurt nobody. Hurt nobody. Hurt nobody. Sorry. I'm not gonna sing Beyonce songs on this show. I promise. Time for reckoning. Kansas farmers. Well, let's talk a little bit about water shortages because these are things that are happening, and I know there is a lot of people that are like, hey, they're doing the things and making this up, but there has been, over the past few years, you've seen Lake Mead get down to very low levels of water, and you've seen California in a deep drought. You've seen, yes, Mexico. Is Mexico at day 1? Is that what it is? Or are you asking me? I know that Mexico was approaching a day 0. But there's been a lot of videos about Idaho farmers being. Where is my stream? For crying out loud! You've seen a lot of videos about Idaho farmers having their water cut off, and there's actually a bit of a water war between the U.S. and Mexico. Right. There's Mexico actually supplies the U.S. with some of their water. There's been a long-standing agreement between the U.S. and Mexico, and that is actually culminating in a bit of a standoff. Yeah, there's that. Everyone pay attention to what Bella is stating about Bella knows his stuff. Bella knows his stuff. If you have questions. All right. Yeah, well, I mean, without going too far off the beaten path, because I feel like this could get. Let me see. I believe it's some. It's from. Let's see. Battles over water use have long plagued the arid states of American West, but the cross-border clash with Mexico is likely a preview of water conflicts to come. Let's see. It's interesting that there's been a lot of articles about this over the years, over the past like almost 20 years. Let's look at this for a second, though. I'm just kind of giving an overview of the drought situation. The United States and Mexico are tussling over the dwindling shared water supplies. Sustained drought on the lower Rio Grande since the mid-90s. Sustained drought on the middle lower Rio Grande since the mid-90s means less Mexican water flows to the U.S. The Colorado River Basin, which supplies 7 U.S. states and 2 Mexican states, is also at record low levels. This is from 2021. A 1944 treaty between the U.S. and Mexico governs water relations between the two neighbors. And a population boom on both sides of the U.S.-Mexico border, climate change and aging waterworks are some of the underlying stresses. Let's see. This is getting kind of into it, but in September 2020, Texas Governor Greg Abbott declared that Mexico owes Texas a year's worth of Rio Grande water. The next month, workers in Mexico released water from a dammed portion of Mexico's Rio Conchos, destined to flow across the border to partially repay Mexico's 345,600 acre-foot water debt to the U.S. Frustrated farmers and protesters in the Mexican state of Chihuahua clashed with Mexican soldiers sent to protect the workers. A 35-year-old farmer's wife and mother of 3 was killed. Mexico also agreed to transfer its stored water at Amistad Dam to the U.S., fulfilling its obligation just 3 days before an October 25th, 2020 deadline. So they're sending water to the U.S. to comply with this treaty. And it's leaving, everybody is pissed, right? U.S. farmers are pissed. Mexican farmers are pissed. The drought dilemma on the Colorado River is similarly dire. Water levels at Lake Mead, a major reservoir for communities in the lower Colorado Basin, has dropped nearly 70% over 20 years. And the population is going up, and the use of water for agriculture going up, right? Anyways, this is a stressor, and we're going to look at this other water stressor. Time for a reckoning. Kansas farmers brace for water cuts to save the Ogallala aquifer. Why? Because they've been just sucking it dry. I drink up the milkshake is a famous line, right? From There Will Be Blood. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. And let's see. Last year, Kansas lawmakers passed legislation squarely targeting the Southwest Kansas Groundwater Management District, which spans a dozen counties. some farmers are bracing for major changes in how they use the long depleting Ogallala Aquifer, the nation's largest underground store of fresh water. The Ogallala transformed this arid region into an agricultural powerhouse. After 50 years of studies, discussions, and hand-wringing about the aquifer's decline, the state is demanding that local groundwater managers finally enforce conservation. It scares the hell out of me, Farmer Hugh Brownlee said at a public meeting in the district on changes to come. A new law aims to force action. The district has come under fire from legislators, increasingly incensed by its substantial travel expenses, its lack of formal conservation policies, and its alienation of farmers who are trying to save water. At a hearing in February on a bill meant to help farmers in one county leave the district, a Kansas House member floated the idea of doing away with the organization, also known as Groundwater Management District 3 altogether. Clay Scott, a farmer and rancher who has served on the district's board for more than 2 decades, said most local farmers are ready to change. It's partly because they don't want to give the state a reason to impose its own restrictions. He's seen the problem of overuse, and that has been going on for generations and can't be reversed overnight. Unless, of course, the whole thing dries up, and then what are you going to do? Oh, overnight. We're going to change it overnight right now because we don't have any choice. I love the conversation in the chats, guys. Digging it. What's going on? Oh, are you guys good on Rockfin? Sorry. I think the stream has been going. Kevin Ryan was a whistleblower at NIST. Yes. Showed how they rigged the CPU model to that whole thing was, let's generate some really cool computer models and everybody will think this is real. It was amazing. The discussions here mirror those occurring not just across the 8 Ogallala states, Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, New Mexico, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Texas, and Wyoming, but also across the country. The dual threat of climate change and overpumping of groundwater threatens farming and agricultural communities coast to coast. Overpumping. Outside the town of Syracuse, Kansas, Brownlee runs a small farm with dry land and irrigated fields, divided by a curvy 2-lane blacktop. Oh, I don't need to read all this. Anyways. They've just been sucking this aquifer dry. And there's also, there's a lot of very, where is it? Kind of famous videos coming out of Idaho saying they're just turning the water off because there's plenty of water. And part of this is there is a lack, an increased lack of water, but it also depends on water rights, right? There are senior water rights holders and there are junior water rights holders. And if you are junior water rights holders who has been deemed out of compliance with their conservation measures, you're on the chopping block, and you get cut off in order to give the senior water rights holders first grabs, right? So that's how it's working. Um. Oh, is it? Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Mighty Mouse. That's funny. Um. But this has been big news, right? Um. The Idaho farmers are some of them are being threatened with water shutoffs. Uh, when the Idaho Department of Water Resources announced a curtailment order Thursday afternoon, they estimated 500,000 acres of farmland could be affected by shutting off the water. And there are a lot of farmers that have, uh, you know, potatoes and other crops already planted. In the ground, and they won't have water to actually finish the harvest. On Thursday, Water Resources Director Matthew Reaver issued a curtailment order that requires 6,400 junior groundwater rights holders who pump off the eastern Snake Plain aquifer to shut off their water. Weaver issued a water methodology order that predicted a water shortage of 74,100 acre feet of water to the Twin Falls Canal Company. Acre feet is a measurement that represents the volume of water covering an acre of land, and in water exactly 1 foot deep. According to Water Education Foundation's website, an acre is about the size of a football field. That's a pretty big acre. Um, the Idaho Department of Water Resources says the groundwater users subject to the curtailment order are being forced to stop pumping water because they are not in compliance with or stopped participating in an approved state plan. I don't know. It would be nice to talk to actually somebody from the area. It just identifies as a black bear, Mighty Mouse. It's okay. It's all good. You can be what you want to be. Denver says still they're not going to stop fracking. They're just stop growing food. It's clear though that there's more people, more farming, less water, and that pressure is starting to be felt by farmers everywhere. Imagine though when there are so there's been water wars going on in California too, and some of the complaints from the farmers are somewhat legit. Do you know the county of Los Angeles owns water rights all over the state and even out of state as well? So there are places in Northern California where the water literally belongs to Los Angeles, and they've owned the water rights for like 100 years. So, if you're a farmer in Northern California, you might be like, I can't get no water. All this water is going to Los Angeles. Why can't we, and we're supposed to be growing food for people, et cetera, right? So. But I think underlying the entire issue, which is complicated, of course, it's definitely not a cut and dry, black and white issue. But I think underlying it is less water, kind of a constant, state of semi-drought, and more people using more water. Kameshwari Kate says, when I lived in New Mexico, farmers had to restrict their water usage because fracking companies had to have their quota access to the water. Well, that's what Denver's been pointing out. Oh my God, it's almost 5 already. I lost track of the time. What's up, Twitter people? We got some Twitter people over here. What's up? Wendy says pollsters are giving Donald Trump the pre-debate edge. What makes people think he might have an edge over the bumbling, stumbling Biden? I think it wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much. Sorry, and that doesn't make me a Trump fan. That just is. Biden is barely functioning adult human being at the moment. And I don't know. He's going to have to be hopped up on some really fantastic cocktail of drugs to get to be like bright-eyed and cogent. Oxygen, yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows what they're giving Biden to keep him upright and keep his lips moving in a coherent fashion. I don't know. The longer live stream will help the YouTube algorithm within limits. All right, is that for me, Wendy? I've often thought about. Sorry, that just is going to take me off into a tangent, but it seems like if you can do like a 2 or 3 hour live stream, like you can get a lot of viewers. The longer the live stream, because as the live stream goes on, it just keeps on growing. That seems to be the way that it happens. Oh, man, I meant to read this article yesterday, and I meant to read it today, but I don't think. Well, let's take a look at it. We got 5 minutes. I think we can do it. Really quick, guys, if you love this channel, if you like this channel, if you love hanging out on this channel, if you like being here for this content that comes to you for free 99 from Monday through Friday, every single day. If you enjoy what you see and you want to support this channel financially, I salute you. And I gladly appreciate that support. I gladly welcome that support. You can, find the links in the description box. There's the Cash App, the Venmos, the PayPals, etc. And for those that already donate to the channel, you know who you are, and I thank you. Hold on, just checking in. Just checking in on something. All right. Let's see. Well, the headline should sum it all up. Scientists finally come around to Extinction Rebellion's thinking. Billions are going to die, he said with a laugh and a chuckle. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at such morbid headlines, but it is what it is. I laugh because, for one, I think scientists have been coming around. Some of them. And Extinction Rebellion is based on scientific, right? Like a scientific overview of what is going on. So I think it was some scientists were before Extinction Rebellion, right? And said, "Hey, here's what it's looking like." You know, it's not like Extinction Rebellion stumbled on the idea that we're going extinct, and they created it, and the scientists are coming around. I don't think it went that way. So that's why I'm laughing at the headline, because it's like, okay, really? They did? They came around to Extinction Rebellion's thinking. Going south, it is a curse. Understanding 9/11 is like a curse. How do we get back on this subject? I don't know. Or we never left. Here's my problem. I see 9/11 all the time. Like when I look at the clock, I don't know why. I always see 9/11. I see and somebody, I was watching a stream today and somebody had a neon sign that said 9/11 is gay. I don't know why I thought that just got me. That tickled me. That was the funniest thing. It was like, I was trying to figure out what it said. It was like, it said 9/11 is. I was like, 9/11 is. 9/11 is. And the dude moved his head, and I saw GA, and I was like, no. Going south says, Kevin, I stopped seeing 9/11 all the time on clocks, etc. 10 years ago. I can't stop seeing it. Anyways, okay. Real quick. Scientists finally come around. Finally come around. From this, I don't know. It's kind of funny. We are afraid, scientists issue new warning as world enters uncharted territory. And I don't know. I feel like this is from 2023. I feel like we read this one. So sorry for bringing up old news. Yeah, we read this one. I thought this was a new thing. Oh, so I didn't really need to, I didn't need to read this article anyways. We read it. We all know what it says. Max says, Raza left us a long time ago because of fights with Black Bear News on 9/11. Yeah, I know. I lose some people. It's okay. I'm generally trying to stay away from this kind of stuff. Just because I don't want to really like rile up people too hard. But it's okay. It's okay. We can dip into it once in a while. Look, believe what you want to believe about it. But I do suggest in any, I miss Raza though. I thought Raza was pretty funny. What I was going to say is any, I encourage any skepticism about any kind of claim, scientific or otherwise, and the best way to get a handle on the actual information is to get a lot of points, a lot of data points, a lot of different people. What do they say about it? Right? Here's what does this side say? What does that side say? And do I trust, from either particular side or viewpoint, do I trust this viewpoint? Do I trust the person saying, all those kinds of things go into the equation. But I like to look at many data points. So but 9/11 is a hard one because, well, it's not that hard. It's actually not that hard to see. Once you see it, it's like error. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, as the saying goes. But the thing is like when you look at 9/11, there are so many coincidences. There's so many weird, hinky, uncool things going on. Uncool. That you can't, you could dismiss one, maybe two. But when it stacks up to like 30, 40, 50 weird data points that you can point out, like that's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen. That doesn't happen like that. That's not the way it works. That's not true. That's not right. When you stack up like 30 or 40 or 50 of those things, it's a lock. It's a done deal. There's no like, but maybe there's no, but maybe there's no maybe. Yeah, after so many things stack up on top of each other, there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that's pointing to this thing being the correct viewpoint on it. I'm just saying. But there can always be anomalies. So if somebody has information that would gobsmack me and make me go, my God, I've seen the light. I can't unsee it now. It's absolutely wrong. My whole way of thinking around this, I would totally change my mind. Totally. About anything, really. I'm wishing somebody would do that with climate change for me. I wish somebody would gobsmack me with some information that told me that, climate change isn't really happening. Then I'd be like, what? Oh, this is great. What a great day. I'm going to go on about my business and just live my life and be happy and not worry about it so much. That's absolutely what I would do. I'd be like, oh, great. Okay, cool. But I don't see it. I don't know. Anyways, you want me to talk to Jimmy Dore? Sure. Heck yeah. I'll talk to Jimmy Dore. I'll have a little sit down and a one-on-one and a talking to. There you go, Delene. That's another data point. That's weird. There's so many of them. There's a whole list. Has anybody compiled like just a bullet point list? Maybe I'll do that. 23 years after the fact. 23 years later. A bullet point list of all the anomalies in the story. Just like what? Oh, the pilot's license or the identification for one of the hijackers being found intact in the rubble. It's another weird one. There's so many like what? That doesn't no. just bullet point it. Just a list, a long list. Anyways. But let's be cool. Let's be kind to each other. Is try. I know I can get a little bit didactic in my talking about some things. So, but let's you know, let's allow people to think what they think, and you know, we can maybe we'll all help each other along the way. All right, all right, okay, all right. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. Um, just checking in to see if I got any donations, tips, hollers. Not so much. All right. Yes, I'll see you all tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific, the regular times. And thank you all for the conversation. Until next time, peace. I should change that to a black bear. You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, ooh, cool, bear.